bro. Don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
Coming to King, you best not miss.
You're not locked in this zone 32.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. The usual suspects are in the building. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Trippy. His name is Will. Say what's up to the people.
Suck my dick, Jake.
Fuck you, Will. Alright, then fine.
Will.
So,
Hey, Will. Not Will. Jake, what episode are we this week?
Episode 83, I believe, if I recall.
Do you want to know what I want to say about episode 83?
I know what you want to say.
Lee
I know what you want to say. I know what you want to
I hope
say.
you die. Lee Evans, I hope you die.
But also, we
that's
can
fair.
call it the Willie Snead episode, can't we?
Yeah, we could call it the Willie Snead episode. Who else was
Nope,
they either? I think Daniel Brown for a little bit.
Doesn't matter. Lee Evans.
Shout out my man
Evans,
Daniel Wilcox, cool tight end for the Ravens, number 83.
Lee Evans, I hope your heater
Hey,
breaks
bro,
and
I
it's
ain't
too cold in your
gonna lie,
house.
bro. Like every time I just saw a picture of him, bro. Like,
Yep.
Matter of fact, I think it was the other day they was talking about like players the Ravens acquired, and I don't even know why the fuck they even post that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Hey, Trippy,
I hope you step on Legos, Lee Evans. I hope horrible thing. I hope all the
Fuck
you-
Legos.
fuck
I
down.
hope his ass step on some thumbtacks, man.
step on some broken,
dirty
dirty heroin needles.
Some dry ice.
Yeah.
Hey, Trippy, me and Drew one time got into a huge fight with Torrey Smith about Lee Evans on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Yeah, Torrey sticks up for Lee Evans. He has to.
Torrey said he still loves Lee Evans, and I'm like, that is the fucking craziest thing anybody's ever said on the internet. Like, what are you doing?
I ain't gonna lie, Torrey, my guy, you still could love. Because I know how Torrey is.
I like Torrey.
He love his brothers. You feel me? They soldiers. He love his brothers, but
that's what I'm saying.
Man.
What else would he say? What else is he supposed to say?
I got no beef.
Hold on,
I got no beef
Damn.
with Torrey Smith, but fuck Lee Evans.
And you know what's so sad about that fucking drop? After Billy Cundiff missed that fucking field goal, did you see Terrell Suggs' face? I will never forget that shit.
Yeah. I remember the Mike Evans saying, "Oh my God."
You know how much shit I took for like a fucking full calendar year because of that shit? That fucking asshole can't catch the ball. We signed him to catch that fucking back corner end zone fade, and he dropped it.
Billy Cundiff should put a hit out on Lee Evans because he gets the shit. He gets all the shit for that. That's not his fault that we lost.
But see, that's the 12-year-old Ravens fans. So that's the people who tapped in 2019 because for whatever reason the Billy Cundiff missed kick to tie the game is what the sports media focuses in on.
Right.
Lee Evans catches that fucking ball. We kick the living fuck out of the Giants in that Super Bowl.
Yep. Yeah. Giants weren't built to beat us that year. We got derailed very early here.
Yeah,
we did. Anyway, well, let's
83 popped in my head. I saw red. I had to say something.
I knew where you're going immediately.
Yep, everybody
We'll
knows.
think about the next. This is the Willie Snead episode. We won't acknowledge that other guy's existence. But anyway, the Ravens have returned from a West Coast trip to the desert where they beat the Arizona Cardinals. What was the final score? 31-24? Something like that?
Yep.
So I got the Ravens offensive points right, just not the other points. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, probably. But hey, fuck it. A win's a win. That's all that matters at this point. So, Drew, I'm going to start with you, as always. Give me your thoughts on the game, man.
We scored 31 points. This is going to sound like kind of a weird take, but I thought the offense looked clunky. I didn't like the fact that they kept dropping 8 into coverage, and we'd still keep trying to pass the ball. Thankfully, Gus had a game. That was kind of Gus's 2023 breakout party. Looked great, but I felt like we tried to force passing too much. It could have been in response to that stupid fucking tweet by the Arizona Cardinals calling Lamar a running back when they were announcing the schedule. But I don't know. Like I felt like that was a game where you could point at Todd Monken's lack of adjustments and say
for sure.
this could be problematic against a good team. Because again, if you're coming out and you're facing 3-man rushes and they're dropping 8 into coverage and you're still trying to pass the ball, we're built to run the ball well. And those are soft fronts. That's where Gus Edwards eats. That's where Lamar can eat running the ball up the middle. I mean, fuck, even Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill could do something, not last week. Obviously, Keaton Mitchell didn't play, but like that's we're built to make teams not want to drop 8 into coverage, to give Lamar those, 6-man coverage looks where somebody's going to pop open. And I just felt like we didn't do a very good job of that. Mark Andrews had a great game passing wise. Apparently, Scottsdale native. I don't know if they mentioned that enough times on the fucking broadcast. Oh yeah, and that was the worst fucking broadcast I've ever listened to in my entire fucking life.
The worst.
I didn't hear a minute of it, so I can't really.
I would have rather hear that shit in Spanish.
Well, you and I could sit on PSF and do a game and not mention a single thing going on, and it would be better than that fucking broadcast. It was so fucking bad. There was a point where the Lions went for it on 4th down, and the referee spotted it somewhere, and then clearly was like on the headset talking to somebody and moved the ball back a little bit. And the broadcaster's like, "Oh my God, what's going on there? I've never seen a ref move the ball back like that."
You mean the Cardinals? You said the Lions.
Yeah, Cardinals. Yeah, but fucking, it was so fucking bad. It was like literally the worst broadcast I've ever listened to in my entire life. The ref definitely had the Cardinals +9 or +8.5. I don't know what they got it at. But I mean, that first drive, those are 2 of the softest penalties I've ever seen, to extend those drives and give them a free 7 there. Not whistling that play dead at the end was fucking ridiculous. And that's what ultimately let them, get the ball back. Putting Nelson Aguilar on the hands team is just a wild fucking move. Again, I feel like maybe that was...
Who was our special teams coordinator?
I don't know, but he should be fired. He fucking sucks.
Chris Horton.
Yeah, Chris Horton, go the fuck home. Chris Horton, you're my new...
I'm going to have to talk to Chris Sunday.
I feel like I have to advocate firing a coach every once in a while. Like, it's been a while. I spent a lot of time saying fire Greg Roman. I haven't said it in a while, but I think we need to fire Chris Horton.
Special teams has been really bad this year.
Again, you had the Zay safety punt that literally all he had to do was run forward for 5 yards and take a knee, and we probably win that game against the Colts.
Yep,
that's special teams blunder. And 100%. Then no disrespect to Nelson Aguilar, like he's done great. He's come in here and exceeded the money that we've paid him, tenfold. But like, why the fuck is that man on your hands team?
Hello?
He's just, yeah, seriously, like who the fuck made that decision? What are we doing? But again, it was we scored a lot of points. We scored over 30. Like, that's good, but it was just like one of those games where I was watching and I'm like, we could have scored so many more fucking points. And I don't like leaving points on the table. And again, I hate the fact that the refs gave the Cardinals 14 points, because again, that fucks with my parlays. That fucks with the spread. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes it look like a closer game. That was not a 31-24 game. No, that was the Ravens were in full control of that game for the entire time. Other than the first drive where the Cardinals kind of, took it down and went up 7-0. And again, that was ref aided, but still, we took it right back down the field, made it 7-7. They had no shot in that game after that point. After we answered their opening score, like, that was kind of one of those ones where I'm like, oh, we're going to get fucking punched in the mouth here. And then we came back and answered their score, and it was just, it never should have been that close of a game. And that was fully because of the refs. But, that pisses me off. Defense looked good. Geno Stone is like fucking Ed Reed Jr. right now, which is fucking wild to me. Matabike got another sack. Clowney and Owe were all over the backfield. Like, if they could just fucking take down the quarterback, that would be phenomenal. They'd be fucking defensive player of the year candidates. Fat ass Michael Pierce had a fucking career game. It was just,
he looked awesome.
He looked fucking awesome. Defense was flowing. They did not deserve to have 24 points put on their record. No,
hold on. Let's be fair. The defense looked, and I don't know if it was the scheme or I don't know, but they were playing like a soft shell, which confused me, because like that first drive they came out and it was soft, and I figured, okay, well, we saw it now, we're gonna tighten up, because like that's not how we've played all year, and it was basically the same all game.
Yeah, but they let him get to the 50-yard line, and then they'd force a punt. So like, I don't hate that. It's not my favorite way of watching a defense.
Roquan even said after the game, the defense did not play to their own standards. So I appreciate that.
Patrick Queen even tweeted something of like, played average, still won, and I'm like, You're right. You guys put up an average performance. Like
Right.
that's not we expect an elite performance. So
going into that game, we played 7 games. We gave up 5 touchdowns on defense, and they gave up 2 touchdowns that game to a bad team.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like it wasn't a great showing, but I don't really have a lot of complaints about the defense other than they maybe were a little too soft from time to time, and kind of gave up some underneath stuff. They let a no-name running back from the backup running back from TCU last year fucking run train on them, but yeah, figured it out, got a win. So there's not a ton I can complain about. I hope that this is a game where
it was all white. All white is why.
Yeah, I mean, don't wear the all whites anymore. Like they suck. They suck. Bad things happen when you wear the all whites. You don't cover the spread against the Cardinals. That's because you wore the all whites.
Better to burn that bullshit now than on Christmas.
Right. No, and also better to have a game where you play, unimpressively and score 31 points and win than to do that against a good team. Because if they played like that, like they played the way they did last week against a good team, they would have lost. They wouldn't scored 31 points. So
I have 3 offensive players I want to discuss. First one is we are very much a hold ourselves accountable podcast. Rashad Bateman had for his standards, a solid showing. He made that.
He looked like a playmaker to me. Yeah, he looked like a playmaker.
Looked like a playmaker. He stopped that interception from happening when Ronnie Stanley let I don't even know what edge rusher it was for the Cardinals, disrupt that play. That was a walk-in touchdown for Rashad. And, ball flight got altered because Lamar got hit while he was throwing it. And Rashad came up big and basically took it out of the defender's hands. And then he had that run later in the game, too. So, I'm going to say credit to him. That's a step in the right direction.
For sure.
And, you put a few more games together like that. And, maybe I'm going to be not walking back some of my past takes, but saying, good for you. Like you figured the fuck out finally.
I'm going to be saying you're welcome, Rashad. You're welcome.
Yeah,
bullying works.
You're welcome for bullying you into doing that.
I've got to be one of the most notorious Rashad Bateman bullies on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Probably. I also,
people were on my ass for that shit.
But see, that's what happens with, and I don't know what we've done to deserve this treatment from Ravens Twitter, but if we're going after, Zim or some other fan base, everybody's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Drew and Will, or we go after the fucking Klans member. Fucking everybody loves that shit. I could tweet fucking anything about her and people are, this is the greatest thing ever. But God forbid I mentioned somebody they like. We're the worst people in the world. So weird. Just strange behavior from our fan base, but it is what it is.
Maybe that's why they be coming for me too. Now I know.
Yeah. Well, people come for you. I'm gonna fucking I kill them online. Like that's not allowed. Dude, that's your protected class. You can't go after you.
Oh God.
Yeah, you can't go after you if especially on behalf of Will and I. They used to do that to Grant too. People would go after Grant, and it's like just fucking tweet Will and I. Like be normal.
Yo, I told Will come in that Raven space though. They was like, yo, that's the purple pants guy, yo. I'm like, yo, chill, yo, that's my man, yo, chill. Like, yo, it was like they was terrified, yo. I said, yo, what the fuck?
Well, because they've all lost arguments to Will online, I'm sure. I mean, the only person who's never lost to Will in an online argument is me. That's just because I'm, far better at semantics and bullshit than Will. But
you're just telling lies right now.
What have you ever beat me in an argument with?
I'll figure it out. I know I have.
Yeah, exactly. You can't think of one because it didn't happen.
You haven't beat me.
I'm sure I have. It's fine. My account's got deleted, so
I'm sure I have.
My account's got deleted, so I can't pull receipts on it. It's unfortunate, but Ronnie Stanley. I think it might be time to have a discussion about him. He does not look like the old Ronnie Stanley. So you're paying Ronnie Stanley to be a top 5 left tackle in the NFL, and he is just not. He doesn't have the same mobility anymore, and he's not a bad player, but again, you're paying him a shit ton of money, and you can't be getting beat around the edge like that as much as he did. You're supposed to be our cornerstone left tackle. That's just not a good look. So
definitely not a good look.
No, and then John Simpson too. We've said he's a replacement, level left guard. Is it time to give Ben Cleveland a shot there? Do you give fucking Malulu, whatever the fuck his name is? Do you give him a shot there?
Call him Solid the Beast.
Yeah, Solid the Beast. Fucking let him play. He can't be any worse than John Simpson at this point. And if he is, so what? You can go back to John Simpson and he's going to give you an average performance. But there are a lot of times.
Even Pat McCarry or something. Shit, just something.
Yeah.
Let's see something.
Yeah, it's just that left side of our offensive line is pretty suspect at this point. Morgan Moses, people get on him about guys blowing past him every once in a while, but that's who he's not. You're not expecting him to be an agile right guard that's gonna shut down an elite pass rush. You're not paying him top 5 right tackle money, so you're not expecting a top 5 right tackle performance out of him. Whereas you're paying Ronnie Stanley top 5 left tackle money, you expect him to play like a top 5 left tackle.
Right.
Yeah, and again, shout out Gus. Fucking looked great. I don't know if we want to get in the trade deadline now. Does anybody have any thoughts about Sunday that we haven't touched on?
Only question I'd have is how healthy is Ronnie at this point? Just because he's getting bullied.
Put up
he's getting bullied. True too.
The guy, soft as shit. Softy Stanley, fucking ski mask Stanley, robbing the Ravens Ronnie, whatever the fuck, rest day Ronnie, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Enough, man.
Staycation Stanley, baby.
Yeah, Staycation Stanley, enough, man. You got fucking hurt 4 years ago. Figure it the fuck out. You're cashing a paycheck every week. Fucking earn that shit. And again,
the one from earlier this year, the sprain or whatever against the Texans. He leaves, comes back, and then is a fucking turnstile since.
Yeah,
that's the only question.
You sprained your leg, so fucking what? Figure it out, or don't play. If you're gonna play and suck, you're better off sitting. So if you're really hurt and you can't play, then don't fucking go out on the field. I'd rather you not be a fucking turnstile and get Lamar killed. That's really my objective here, is that protect Lamar Jackson at all costs. When Lamar Jackson has time in the pocket, nobody's better than him. So let's give him time in the pocket. Let's fucking block for him. Let's do our fucking jobs as the offensive lineman.
That's right.
Specifically Ronnie. Specifically Ronnie.
So anyway, the trade deadline is passed, and the Ravens were in talks to make certain moves, but nothing really came to fruition. So they stood pat. No trades were made from us from giving away anybody or getting anybody. So Drew, why does EAC hate us? Why?
Yeah. Some of our fans gotta chill the fuck out. I get it. It's trade deadline season. The Ravens are in a phenomenal position they have a really good team right now, and there were guys available at positions that would make them an even better team. So the desire to go pick up a Derrick Henry, a Josh Jacobs, a Chase Young, a Montez Sweat, Daniel Hunter, or whatever fucking name you throw out there, an edge rusher or a running back. I get it. Everybody with a brain wanted those players. That's fine. I get it. There is nobody with a rational argument against acquiring any of those guys if the price is right. Where our fans are fucking weird to me is this entire thing where, the 49ers and the Eagles, and those are the two teams that get thrown out all the time, are these super aggressive teams that go all in and go get the guys that they need. And they're the Eagles went and got Kevin Byard and the 49ers went and got Chase Young. And why can't EDC do that? I think
what
it's
does they
fair.
have to show for it?
Right.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, but that
wasn't because they went all in. That's because they went and signed a bunch of veteran guys who fucking gelled really well and won Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So let's put it in context there. I mean, again, 49ers haven't won shit. 49ers, John Lynch gets fucking sucked off online for going to acquire Chase Young. He traded 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. People forget.
Not to mention the way they've been playing and the money they've invested along their defensive line, they're not getting a good return out of it at all.
No,
their defense is highly overpaid.
It is. And again, they paid Jimmy G. He just got benched for Aiden O'Connell, who played quarterback at fucking Purdue, of all places. So, I mean, not like he's some fucking, can't miss blue chip prospect. He's some fucking dork from, no name Big Ten school.
Your favorite quarterback of all time went to Purdue.
Fuck Drew Brees. Yeah, it took me a second to make that connection there. Yeah, fuck him too. I don't get the John Lynch praise for that. It's fucking weird. Our fans are fucking weird. And on top of that, you got our fans taking shots at, friends of the program, Cole and Spencer, for, I would say both of them had pretty accurate reports from what I've now gathered after the fact. I'm not I don't claim to be some kind of insider, but I will bother people and ask questions that maybe normal people won't ask them. So Cole started off with the Derrick Henry thing and basically said that the Titans owner vetoed a trade that was in place for Derrick Henry to come to Baltimore. I had heard about the Derrick Henry stuff for the entire week leading up to that happening. At some point, I even tweeted 22 eyeball emojis because like I was fairly confident that that trade was going to happen. What actually happened there was that Mayo coffee drinking, banana peel eating freak came in and threw 4 touchdowns and looked like he actually knew how to play football. And the Titans owner was kind of like, "Oh shit, I don't want to trade. We don't want to trade the face of our franchise for what we were discussing with you before." And the Ravens were kind of like, "Yeah, we're all set." And I don't know what the trade compensation was in that situation. I honestly have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to have some kind of source that said, "Oh yeah, they asked for a second round pick," and UC said, "Fuck off." I can honestly say that they were in on Derrick Henry and it didn't work because at the last second, the Titans asked for more than what was being discussed before, and the Ravens said, "No, the price is too much. We can't do it." And they couldn't have made a Derrick Henry trade work after Monday because of they wouldn't have been allowed to restructure Derrick Henry's contract. And so that was what stopped them from continuing to pursue that on Tuesday because I don't think they had the money to shed off the cap to make that work. So then you flash forward to Tuesday, and Spencer had a tweet that said the Raiders were asking for a second round pick for Josh Jacobs, and the Ravens didn't budge and didn't want to pay a second round pick. And that trade obviously never ended up happening. And then you get reports coming out after the fact that, people were calling the Raiders and they weren't returning phone calls. And then all of a sudden, Josh McDaniels and their GM get fired today. So what's pretty clear to me what happened there is that the Derrick Henry shit fell through. Ravens still wanted to upgrade at running back. They clearly had conversations about Josh Jacobs before. And again, I trust Spencer saying that he knows people in Josh Jacobs' camp, and they were saying that there was, Josh Jacobs wants out of Vegas. Ravens are into Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is in Ravens. And again, it just didn't work out. Like, I don't know how you can really crucify EDC for that. It just kind of, again, the Ravens wanted a running back. He's a running back. He's very good at football. They didn't make it work. It is what it is. And then, people are killing EDC for not making the Chase Young move. I'm more willing to have a discussion that that's a move that EDC should have made. I also think that maybe his attention was more focused on trying to materialize that Josh Jacobs move out of nowhere because maybe he has faith that Ojabo is going to come back and play well. And maybe he thinks that OA is ready to make a break. And not to jerk myself off here, but on May 1st, I tweeted that, if we sign Rocky Sin, which we ended up doing after May 1st, and we sign any other veteran corners, I don't know if they're going to be CB2 because I think the Ravens love Brandon Stevens. And that's pretty clear that they liked Brandon Stevens, and that kind of faith has been rewarded. So, who am I to now question that they feel like they have enough pass rush wise? I don't know if I'm in a position to do that. I don't always agree with the Ravens in the guys that they like and the guys that they hold on to and the guys that they kind of prop up. But a lot of times it ends up working out. I would say at any other position other than wide receiver, it has typically worked out. If the Ravens are like, we trust our guys, the guys that they trust seem to work out. And it might be a crazy take, I don't know, but you can criticize the front office of your favorite team, but you also have to look at the track record and look at the fact that the Ravens have been, for pretty much all of their existence, have been a good football team. And so maybe us, end of the bar idiots that John Harbaugh called out last year, he does have somewhat of a point that a lot of us are fucking stupid and ask questions and, want things done that maybe don't make sense.
Well, on the Chase Young thing, obviously it would have been nice to have Chase Young, but I think two things can be said about that. Number one, it could definitely signal that Ojabo and Bowser are close to being healthy enough to contribute, or they have hope that they will be, in a time frame where I think having an edge rusher or a couple edge rushers become healthy towards the end of the season, I think is more important. Like we saw last year, Ojabo, we had him towards the end of the season. He contributed. So that could be a signal that one or both those guys is going to be ready. And on top of that, we talked about this on the stream, I think, but the defense is leading the NFL in sacks. So we're getting to the quarterback without giving away a third round pick, without giving a huge extension to a guy that just walked in the door. So I don't know. I mean, from where EDC is sitting, I think it was like any move he made was going to be a luxury. We were not going into this deadline with a pressing need.
Right. You were not, and you were not coming from a desperate position of you really needed to make this move for an edge rusher or running back, or you're not going to compete.
Right. It's like, I think Eric probably was like, here's our best offer.
And so I would,
if you're right, and if you test the market and you don't get a better offer, then give me a call back. But you're not gonna like drive the price up.
And so my only argument, the Chase Young one, is that we have been very good at getting sacks and getting the quarterback and, simulating pressure and doing it in some unorthodox manners. When you're playing, Patrick Mahomes caliber quarterback, sometimes you have to have 4 guys rushing the passer, and you're not trying to do any of these kind of confusing things where you're dropping a defensive tackle in coverage or something like that. And so a Chase Young move helps you in that situation. And so this is very much like a macro thing, like you said on the PSF stream, that you're looking at a bigger picture, one situation in the playoffs that maybe having Chase Young helps you out. And to me, maybe that's worth a 3rd round pick. I don't know if EDC was ever given that opportunity to offer a 3rd round pick. Or, I think Trippy brought it up on the stream too. Maybe they just didn't want to fucking trade Chase Young to the Ravens. Like it does take 2 to tango. It's not
take 2 to tango.
Remember what I told you guys? So, and Drew, you've given me credit for this. I'm the first person to come up with a realistic scenario where we did trade for Chase Young. I thought it would be before the season started, but I also have personal knowledge about Chase Young's inner circle. I think as far as I know, Chase Young himself is fine, I guess, as far as his reputation goes, but he's got some people in his inner circle.
Some very frustrating individuals around him.
Frustrating and very sketchy people that, and the Ravens are careful about who they let in the building. So this guy has I shouldn't say this guy. Whoever I'm talking about has a reputation. So it could be they didn't want any part of that. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons to not trade for Chase Young. There are as many reasons to trade for him. But the real thing here is that, again, we are 6-2, clear-cut AFC contender, and really nobody else who's considered an AFC contender made some massive move to make themselves feel better. Make themselves not feel better, but be a better team. The Bills went out and got Rasul Douglas. They also lost Trey White for the year. So that's a downgrade.
But they also signed Leonard Fournette to their practice squad. So
yeah, but again, so that's
I'm joking. Yeah.
That's a normal depth move. So
right.
Fine, cool. Like we can go make a normal depth move tomorrow. That's not a huge deal. But Rasul Douglas is a huge downgrade from Trey White. So really, all they did is that they filled Trey White's position with a lesser commodity. Okay, so that's not really making better. And is Ezra Cleveland even better than John Simpson? Because that's who the Jags went and got from the Vikings. Like, again, offensive line, good offensive linemen don't move.
No.
And so the fact that the Vikings are willing to move him should probably signal to you that he's really not that good. And he's not worth being up in arms that the Jags got this fucking, world beater at guard. Like he's not that good of a player.
If he was that good, they would have just let him play out the year, go sign with someone else, and take a comp pick back.
I actually think
because it would be like a third round pick.
Of all of us, I think Trippy has always had the most consistent take of like whoever the Ravens run out on the field, he has faith in. You know what I mean? The most like-minded take to EDC, I would say that, whoever is playing for the Ravens, Trippy's going to have their back and think that this guy's going to do well. And I guess what has happened this year that makes you think that that's not going to continue? We've plugged in Ronald Darby and Rock Ya-Sin at corner. And Brandon Stevens is having a fucking career year. He's the most targeted corner in the NFL. Mollett is having a fucking year.
Clowney.
Clowney's having a year. Kyle Benoit's having a year. Yeah, like Geno Stone is having a year. Nelly's having a year. Odell has shown signs to me of coming back to not the all-pro caliber Odell, but at least a very good wide receiver that we can rely on.
And something that should be he should get a lot of credit for. He's drawn 6 6 first downs on defensive penalties. So whether
So
it be offensive pass interference, holding, or illegal contact.
So I was having this discussion with I don't even fucking remember who I was tweeting, and they're like, I need to see something out of Odell, and I'm like, I feel like we're getting to that breaking point with him where he's going to do something that you're going to be like, okay, Odell's back, and that's what I said. Is I'm like, those don't show up on the stat sheet. Those aren't yards that he's gotten receiving, but they're meaningful to the team. And like
they're meaningful yards. So like basically it's 6 catches for whatever amount of those yards is, and a first down on all 6.
Right. He's
so 6 first down. Yeah, 6 first downs, and at least 2 of those have been offensive pass interference with pretty decent gains downfield.
He had that play against the Titans that extended the drive where Justin Simmons Simmons on the Titans tried to take out Zay Flowers' knee.
Yeah.
And he came in and flopped and, drew that personal foul.
Yep.
That extended the drive, but he ended up punching it in. So, he is contributing, and it's not in the flashy wide receiver stats that we want at this point. But he's kind of showing glimpses of he can be that guy still.
Right.
So,
well, or he wants, because he has a lot of incentives built in. But
right, he's had a couple moments where actually I think it was when he got interfered with this week that he went to the fucking sideline and slammed his helmet. It was fucking livid because he wants to make that play. He doesn't want to get whistled for the ball at the 1. He wants to catch a touchdown pass. So he's clearly still got the drive there. He clearly still wants to be the player that he used to be. And he has shown physical flashes of being that guy. So I'm willing to wait on him because, again, to me, December and January Odell is a lot more important than, late October Odell.
His best chunk on his last team, the Rams, who won the Super Bowl, was his playoff run. He was incredible in the playoffs, and that's including a Super Bowl game where he only played a half a quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he had a touchdown catch.
Yep.
And that was again a situation where I think he got released like week 4 and then didn't sign with the Rams until like week 10 and then really didn't come on with the Rams until, week 14, 15 is when they really started like working him into the offense, giving him the ball. And like you said, by the time he was sort of up to speed and ready to go as a playoff run, that's where he really shined. So if that's
for some reason, this is sticking out of my head, 327 yards and 3 touchdowns or something like that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, just based on the amount of time he played. So he played at the Rams that year. I don't think they were a 1 seed, were they?
No, I think they were a 2 seed that year.
So they played 4 games.
And he played in 3.25 of them.
Right.
So it was basically 100 yards a game and a touchdown and all
exactly
those, so.
Right. So, we want this guy to I want him to have 200 yards and 2 touchdowns every week, but we're going to get our money's worth if we get in the playoffs and we get that Odell, that version.
Right. Yeah, that's how I feel.
And that was the version of him who had no ACL in his knee.
Yeah, and again, he has shown somewhat explosiveness. You know what I mean? It's not the same as the Giants Odell, but it's getting there.
That slant he ran, the slant he ran against
the Titans.
Or the Titans, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's getting there. It's not perfect, but it's looking like more of Odell than we saw earlier in the year. So I have some faith.
And I know he's not happy with it, but if he gets 2 first downs on some sort of defensive penalty and 3 catches for 25 yards a week, I'm perfectly happy with that output. He's contributing. Now I'd rather he get 6 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. But I'll take whatever the output is. It's helping us win. It's advancing the ball. It's this is the job of the wide receiver, is to move the ball down the field in chunks, and he's doing that even if it's not catching the ball. So I'm still very, very happy and patient with
it. Yeah, but because I feel the same way too. Like I'm just being patient because what he missed? 2 games so far?
Yeah,
or just 1. So as long as he keep playing this thing, and I like that frustration. Like that's to show he want to score. I don't think he's frustrated with the team or nothing. That's just to show he got that dog in him. Like
agreed.
Because like if you think about it, I remember like 3 weeks ago, everybody was saying like, "Yo, why Bateman act like he don't?" You know what I mean? Act like he just don't care. So I wonder if Bateman was doing that, would fans feel the same way? And another thing is, I hear Raven fans saying, "Yo, he robbing the Ravens, this and that." But I said this on 105.7 the other day. Like, is Odell what y'all think wrong with him? Because like a lot of people saying he washed up, but every time you turn around, he getting the PIs. You feel me? Like a DB can't hold him. So is he bullshit or he just still nice? You see what I'm saying? Because
The
like
people who are saying that are the same idiots who were mad at EDC for not making a trade. And if you ask them, it's like, okay, what trade should he have made? And they're like, he should have traded for
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, right. Like stupid shit. It's like the Madden crowd,
My thing with Odell too, like maybe we overpaid him. I don't know, $15 million is a lot for a wide receiver.
I don't care. I don't care.
But exactly, like it doesn't. Maybe he's not going to give you $15 million worth of production. But it was the fact that you signed Odell. Like people have already forgotten how the offseason went. Lamar Jackson publicly requested a trade. You signed Odell. Now all of a sudden Lamar locks in here for 5 years, and you draft Zay Flowers. Like that was kind of that was what kickstarted
and before that,
offseason.
the only wide receiver move they made was Nelson Aguilar.
Right, but it was the Odell signing that really brought Lamar back into the fold. I would say, and again, Lamar has said that much, and there's been other reporting that said he asked for Hopkins and Odell, and then he'd come back, and then he got Odell and came back. So it's got to be a big part of that move.
And he confirmed he said that. He said, I didn't say you have to get both those guys or I won't come back. He said, I want Odell or D-Hop. Yeah. And they went and did it.
I remember when we signed Odell, a lot of fans was like, oh yeah, that's going to bring tickets. You know what I mean? Bring more fans there. And that might be a sign we're bringing Lamar back. So I still don't get why fans so mad. Like, I don't know. Like, that shit be crazy.
Because they're fucking morons. That's why.
Fans always look for a reason to be fucking mad. It's like a weird existence.
Yeah, some do.
Yeah, there is a contingent of every fan base, whether it's 25%, 50%. I don't know what the fucking number is, nor do I care. But like, there is a group in every fan base who we could go 17-0, win the Super Bowl, and they would complain that we didn't win every game by enough points, or that we won boring, or whatever their fucking weird ass complaint is.
Or John Harbaugh, fire him.
Yeah. Again, the Fire Harbaugh crowd is looking real bad with how like their hero Kyle Shanahan does. Things like that. Like you putting everything in context with our fan base. I feel like our fan base is overly hard on our front office and our coaching staff
all the time
for no reason. Again,
agreed.
Like Greg Roman gave you enough reasons to be hard on him. Okay, but John Harbaugh really hasn't.
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking.
Well, and the question. And I don't know if you came up with this or not, but I fully agree with you. And we have a brain that apparently is like connected to the same source of information. But
somewhat.
Okay, you don't want John Harbaugh. Who do you want instead?
Right, and my thing with that is that I was like, that's a cop-out answer, but it's not a cop-out answer because what is the direction you're looking for this team to go? Because I feel like if you hire anybody besides John Harbaugh, you're looking for them to be as successful as John Harbaugh. So you already have John Harbaugh here. What is the point of breaking that continuity? And now if you're going to go bring in, I don't know, the Ravens have some fucking line on some 30-year-old offensive wizard that nobody's really tapped into yet, and you think he's totally going to revolutionize football, and you want to move on from John Harbaugh for that guy? Sure, like because then you have a clear plan of what you're trying to do. If you're going to fire John Harbaugh just to bring in another John Harbaugh type guy, what's the point? What do you gain from that? Like if you're looking to shake up the organization, so I would say John Harbaugh has been kind of more of a defense first guy and sort of a rah-rah cheerleader, fucking leader of men. And if you're now looking to switch gears and go to some Mike McDaniel offensive dork caliber guy, like that's fine. You're making, but at that point you're making a philosophical shift. And so if the front office is behind that and their drafting and free agent transactions are going to also match up with that philosophical shift, and you're bringing somebody in that can coach that philosophical shift better, by all means, go for it. But if you're just looking to the Ravens front office is going to operate the same way that it has forever, like why get rid of Harbaugh. Why bring in some offensive mastermind if you're not willing to, forego spending big money on defense and spend all your money on offense? Like, what do you gain from that? What would be the point of doing that? That's always kind of been my thing with the Fire Harbaugh crowd, is that, like, you point out these head coaches who are offensive gurus, allegedly, who don't succeed in the playoffs, but that's who you want to bring in. Fine, but then you have to also probably fire EDC at that point, because his ideology doesn't align with Andy Reid or a Kyle Shanahan type coach. Like, that's not how EDC builds a roster. So you're then asking to bring in an offensive-minded head coach for a team that spends heavily on defense and won't spend heavily on offense. Like, that just seems dumb. That seems like you're just fucking causing mayhem for no reason.
That's why I say they like, some of them fans, they just say the dumbest shit. Like, and sometimes it just be to the point, like, it be stupid. Like,
well, online is such an echo. It's such an echo chamber, because if you tweet Fire Harbaugh, you're going to get 40 people agreeing with you in the comments, and you're going to get 10 people telling you you're wrong. And then the 40 people who agree with you are going to attack those 10 people, and you just get totally outnumbered. It's not even like anybody makes any valid points or anything. It's just shouting you down, telling you you're stupid, which is weird. Like, that just seems how our fan base works.
And back to EDC, I think a lot of people fail to realize, because, like I said, some of these fans, Raven fans, they just became Raven fans. Like, EDC been with the Ravens a long time ago. He started off as a scouting, a scouting person. You see what I'm saying? And he always been under Ozzy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And Ozzy basically gave him the keys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you hear fans saying, yo, Ozzy need to be back in the office. Ozzy's still there. So, like, what the fuck? Like,
Ozzy's office is probably right next door to Eric's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you had one fan yesterday, right? So I was saying, like, it was like, yeah, Trip, who would you want? I'm like, man, I mean, we can get oh no, my bad. They was talking about the trade situation. I don't know if it was Cole or Spence that had posted, was saying basically like a second. I think I saw like a third round in Justice Hill for Jacobs. So then somebody yelled out.
Spencer said it was a second round pick, is what they asked for.
Okay, cool. All right. So then somebody yelled out, oh, it's a second round pick. You got one dude talking about, man, I ain't giving up no second round pick for no fucking Jacobs, man. He washed up. Him and Gus Evans is like the same thing. I say, yo, hold up. Like, bro, is you serious right now? Like, Jacobs led the league in rushing last year. Like, not saying Gus bullshit, but Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs a very good player. And if
you get what I'm saying?
If they want a second round pick for him, I think that's a fair ask. But I also don't have an issue with the Ravens saying no to that, because he is a rental at that point. And, like, you don't want to pay a running back big money. And I feel like to make giving up a second round pick worthwhile, it has to be like Roquan last year, where you bring him in and extend him. And so if you're not willing to pay Josh Jacobs, then maybe don't give up the second round pick. I'd rather have Blake Corum in the second round next year than, 7 or 8 game stretch of Josh Jacobs.
I wouldn't mind seeing him as a Raven.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pushing that for 2.5 years now. So
hometown kid too. So I mean,
Yeah, but I'm past the point of questioning what our front office does, because I feel like they have a plan, and maybe that plan is not what I philosophically agree with, but they also seem to always operate the same way over and over again, and more times than not, they're right. They don't tend to overpay guys who, if you look at EDC's tenure, I would say that the Yannick trade didn't work out because he went and got somebody who wasn't a scheme fit for us. We needed a pass rusher, but under Wink's scheme, you need somebody who could rush the passer and defend against the run. And Yannick was not a good run defender, so he couldn't get on the field. And I would say the Earl Thomas, signing didn't work out, and that was for non-football reasons. And so maybe you can put some blame on EDC there and say that he didn't do enough research into who Earl Thomas was as a person, and didn't see that he wasn't going to fit in the locker room. And again, Earl Thomas was right. Brandon Williams was a fat pussy who got overpaid, who didn't play, who nursed injuries. And Chuck Clark was a fucking moron who couldn't align in the defense. So, those were his 2 noted spats, where he punched Chuck Clark in the face for fucking up coverage in practice. And he allegedly went after Brandon Williams after that Browns loss in 2019 and called him a fat pussy and told him to fucking play and earn his paycheck.
I
Neither of
remember
those
that
things
game
were,
because Brandon Williams, he
yeah.
came out with the butters on and shit, street
Yeah,
clothes. I'm like, the fuck? And then I
he
heard,
was nursing a hamstring injury, and allegedly Earl Thomas went after him after that game. But neither of those things were wrong. I mean, again, we don't blow coverages like we used to when Chuck Clark was the one aligning the defense. I had Jeff Srebeck tell me that coaches laugh at us for putting so much stock in the green dot, but then I look at how our defense is now. We don't blow coverages like that. So what's the fucking common denominator here? Chuck Clark's gone. Chuck Clark isn't here
guess
anymore
what?
to blow coverages.
I've never heard of any profession where people lose their jobs more frequently than NFL coaches. So they can laugh at us all they want, but there's a hell of a lot of turnover in their jobs.
Right. And, I don't think Jeff was saying that maliciously. I just think that some coaches don't want to admit that there are specific players you put in positions that they don't deserve.
Yeah, no, and I don't blame Jeff. He is telling the truth. That's what NFL coaches think fans are stupid. And if they think fans are stupid for how much stock we put in the green dot, well, then I think a coach who thinks we're stupid for thinking that is a coach who doesn't understand the value of the green dot.
Yeah, well, no, that coach is coaching for the fucking Giants right now, and their defense sucks balls. So,
Right.
Thoughts, Wink Martindale, cunt. But it's just I feel like our fan base is generally dumber than most fan bases because they won't admit that the Ravens have been good for a very long time. Like they just seem to not want to admit that whether the Ravens do things that you personally agree with or not, the results are there and the results have been good. And that's really all it boils down to. So that's why I'm okay with standing pat at the trade deadline. It's not what I would have done. I would have gone out and gotten Chase Young. I would have, I don't know if I could have forced the Raiders to make a trade there, but I would have fucking tried real hard for that. I would have tried real hard for Saquon. I would have tried real hard for Dino Hunter earlier before, the money became an issue with him.
Cordell Patterson,
Josh Uche is another guy that I would have gone and gotten.
The running back for the Falcons.
Yeah, that's Cordell Patterson.
No, the other one too, though. What's his name?
Oh, Algier.
Yeah, I would have took him too.
Yeah, there are plenty of guys that if I look at players that I think would have been available that I would have gone after. I don't know if I would have successfully gotten them as the GM, but the stronger point here is that just because EDC does something that I wouldn't do doesn't mean that I'm right and doesn't mean that he's wrong. Just means that I don't agree with how he handled it, but I also can look at his track record and say, yeah, other than years where we've had fucking fluke injuries, he's done pretty fucking well building the team. I can't blame EDC for not having depth for missing 25 guys. You go into the year with a 53-man roster and half of that ends up on the fucking injured reserve. No shit, he was signing corners off the street because you don't go into the year expecting to be missing half your fucking guys.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and a draft like 2020 when for the past 2 years people have been talking about how bad it was. Pretty good draft.
I wish there was a way that I could search pictures on Twitter, because if I search that picture the Ravens tweeted of their whole 2020 draft class, just like the picture itself, not the quote tweets of it, of people tweeting that for the last 2 years, fucking mocking it, saying look at how bad this idiot is at drafting. And those are probably the same people who are panicking, saying shit, we're not going to be able to keep Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, and Justin Madubuike. And 2 years ago, they were calling them fucking bums, saying that those guys fucking sucked. So,
exactly.
That's kind of my thing. Is again, even if you look at drafts,
my bad, Drew. You know what else? Or they'll do? They'll compare who was drafted before them. You got some people still crying about a Jabo and shit. I keep telling them, just get a man some time, bro. He hurt, but just give him some time. You feel me?
I think it was really
this person. That should be done.
I think it was really stupid that we drafted Jalen Armour Davis over Tariq Woolen. Okay. Also, every team in the NFL passed on Tariq Woolen at least 3 times before he got drafted. Exactly. So if I'm going to have criticism,
except the Rams,
who didn't have picks, but regardless, if I'm going to have criticism, if I'm going to have criticism of EDC for passing on Tariq Woolen, I then have to criticize every other NFL GM for passing on him as well. So when you put everything in context, yeah, he's made mistakes. It's okay to criticize him. It's okay to say that this wasn't the best move. This didn't pan out the way that EDC probably planned it. but also if you look at the whole body of work, it's been pretty fucking good. Like we're kind of like privileged people complaining about like minor inconveniences.
And
100%.
this another thing real quick, right? We're not used to like drafting in the top 10, right? So a player that we probably love, we're probably not going to get. 9 times out of 10, we drafting like 23, like 23 and below. So a player that we want, we probably ain't going to get. So they go with the best player available. So it might not, like, even me, like, I ain't gonna lie, I love Kyle Hamilton, but when we drafted him, I was saying, like, why did we draft him? But I see why. For instance, we drafted Hollywood that year, right? I mean, he was nice, but I feel like it was other wide receivers. But look what the EDC did. He went on and traded him for a first round pick, and we got what? You know what I mean? We got a
we got Linderbaum.
We got a top 2 center in the league.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? But you still got fans that cry about that. Like, yo, that was dumb. You know what I mean? Like, it's always something. But I love what that man doing, man. I feel like, and I said this at the beginning of the season, as long as we stay healthy, I feel like we can make a run. You feel me? And right 100%. Now, 6-2,
if you go
looking good.
If you go back in the earlier Zone I don't remember what episode I joined Zone 32 like officially full time for. But if you go back in the archives, like I was very much on EDC's ass to start off with.
You used to call him a bald midget.
Yeah, you used to call him a bald midget all the time. And then, you know, shit started kind of working out. And I'm like, man, I'm kind of wrong here. I'm going to, you know, I did the Homer Simpson meme of slowly backing into the bush.
Yeah.
And coming
back out.
But it's because, again, I fell into the same trap that a lot of our fans did of I was too quick to judge moves that he made off the bat. And the thing to remember is he's probably got the next 5 years of the Ravens planned out in his head. Like there's no way.
Oh, yeah. Probably. And he probably has a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 7-year plan, and a 10-year plan.
Right. And so just because the 1-year plan didn't work out doesn't mean the 3 and the 5-year plan aren't going to work out.
This is a guy who saw a beautiful blonde woman, okay, who was 3 inches taller than him and said, I'm going to figure out a way.
3 inches taller than you too.
That's a lie. But he saw a beautiful blonde woman 3 inches taller than him and was like, I'm going to find a way to make her my wife. And look where he is now.
Hey, the moral of that story is that he does follow through on a lot of his plans.
Right.
They may seem like long shots when you look at them, but they work out. So there's a lot to be said about how stupid and reactionary our fan base is. I'm sure we could go on about that for another 6 hours.
We have a lot to cover, and we're already at least an hour in. So
right around there, we're a little less, but
so like we have this
here nor there.
We have this host who should do these things. There you go, Jake.
Hey,
Jake actually he took a break. He headed up to Buffalo Wild Wings to pick up a carryout order. Yeah. He didn't want to pay the DoorDash fees.
Googled some weird ass backgrounds. Yeah.
I had to go see my lady real quick, man. You know what it is. I'm just saying. But
hey, Jake.
Anyway,
before we transition into that, I got to say something.
What do you have to say?
Today is November 1st, which means yesterday was Halloween. Today marks the beginning of Thanksgiving season, and there are already people talking about Christmas. I have a very clear message for those people: suck my fucking dick and eat my ass. If you skip Thanksgiving, you might as well put on a red coat and attack America. Okay, you basically are a British soldier back in the 1770s. You have no respect for your country or its culture or its traditions. People who put their Christmas lights up. I went for a walk with my dogs tonight, right when I got home from work, before I got on here, and you know what I witnessed? I saw someone who put up Thanksgiving lights, and it brought joy to my heart.
So I was going to say, right now, if you are putting up, if you put up red, if you put up red, yeah, I think red would be acceptable right now.
They're like burgundy and orange.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like orange. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, and I think before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to order some Thanksgiving lights for my house too. So Thanksgiving is the best holiday of the year, bar none. Family, maybe friends. Hopefully, it's both. Food, football, drinking. You can take a nap in the middle of the day. It's the best day of the year, best holiday of the year. People who disrespect it and start talking about Christmas, if you make the Christmas season 2 months long, then it's like that saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. If you have a 2 month holiday, you don't have 1 month holiday. You don't have any holiday. Christmas is nothing if you extend it too far. You have to give Thanksgiving its time. And it's not even like Thanksgiving gets a full month for the most part. Most years it's like in the early 20s. Like, we're talking about somewhere.
You get about 3 weeks. You get about 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So like, is it too much to ask that you just respect Thanksgiving for 3 weeks a year?
If you put up Christmas decorations prior to the weekend after Thanksgiving, I think it should be classified as a federal crime.
I think that you are allowed to put up Christmas decorations, but with your Thanksgiving decorations still up, like if you're celebrating Thanksgiving at your house with your family or something, like you're having people over, I think they kind of like seeing the Christmas decorations up too. Not a tree with ornaments on it, but like,
right.
Just a little.
So I'm thinking
sprinkle of Christmas.
I'm thinking like inflatable snowmen on your front yard, Christmas lights, or Christmas trees.
That's
things
too
that
much.
I would call,
oh yeah.
Right.
Outdoor decorating? No, you can't do it until after Thanksgiving.
If you put up an inflatable turkey, go for it.
Oh fuck yeah, absolutely! I encourage any specifically Thanksgiving themed decorations. Okay, but putting up your Christmas lights before Thanksgiving, I would even say you could make like some sort of tradition in your family of putting up your Christmas lights on Thanksgiving if you want to, and then like the ceremonial lighting of them when the sun goes down. Great, go for it. But if it's before Thanksgiving, jail.
Yep, agreed. Federal prison, Guantanamo Bay.
Yep.
Fucking one-way ticket. Go.
Court martial, Leavenworth.
Yeah. Brandon Myers of Around the Block Ravens, fucking jail straight away.
Yeah. Well, and Bing AI created like Captain Thanksgiving for me. It's a turkey dressed as like a soldier with an M4. So, and he's protecting a table full of Thanksgiving food with a USA flag in the background. So, great character. But yeah, basically, if you listen to this podcast, I would hope you respect the bird. You respect Thanksgiving.
This is for our American listeners. I know we have random people in like fucking European countries that listen, and Canadians. I don't know about your customs over there. I don't care about them either.
I give a pass. So like my friend is married to a Lebanese woman, like from Beirut. I know there's some crossover, but from Beirut, grew up in Beirut. She puts up the Christmas tree like today, and you know what? She didn't grow up with Thanksgiving. She has no like orientation towards it. So like she doesn't have, so like I get that. It's fine. She loves Christmas.
We are accepting of foreign people's traditions here. This is only for American people.
Right. Well, and to be fair, then for his family, he was saying, like, it's not even a question of where they're going or what they're doing on Thanksgiving. So he gets to like monopolize Thanksgiving. He loves it. Yeah. So it's a great trade-off. But so like I am willing to, if people are listening to this and they want to like submit a waiver and decorate for Thanksgiving or for Christmas before Thanksgiving has taken place, I will review it and approve it, but it's going to take a very convincing story. So like my buddy's wife from Beirut, that passes the test. Like she has no reason to respect or care about Thanksgiving. She didn't grow up with it.
You're from Canada. You don't even celebrate Thanksgiving on the right day. So like, fuck
they celebrate Thanksgiving in the summer.
Yeah, like fuck.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, that's the craziest shit ever.
Yeah, Canadian
in the summer.
Canadian,
yeah.
I think Will's a little bit misguided here, but it's not.
It's September. So no, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. I'm not that far off. And if it falls before September 21st, I am still correct.
I'm fairly sure it's like October, but
that's crazy. Christmas in October.
Yeah, so I mean, Canadian people.
October 9th. You were right.
Okay, so it's still autumn.
Oh, is that an argument that Drew won against Will?
Oh fuck!
You said you weren't sure. It wasn't that wasn't an argument. You said you weren't sure. So
I said I'm pretty sure it's like October, and then it's October.
But that's not 100% confidence. That leaves you room for leeway to get out
of
it.
Hold on. Why would I be?
There's no definition of that, bucko.
I don't have a fucking igloo in my backyard. I don't milk, maple syrup out of the trees in my backyard. I don't know what the fuck Canada does.
I don't know, man. You got tight with Cole. And all that. So hey, Canadians. That's what it is.
I mean, yeah. Cole puts up Christmas.
What's your favorite show? Terrence and Phillip. We already know. You watch Terrence and Phillip on the daily.
Yeah, solid.
But anyway,
solid show.
Anyway,
okay. So hold on.
Get on to the game preview.
The summary is respect Thanksgiving. If you put your Christmas lights or any Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving, or I'll even give you a little bit of wiggle room on that. If you're having people to your house and you want to put up the tandem Christmas Thanksgiving decorations, like you sprinkle some Christmas in, you can do it the night before. So like Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, just because like Thanksgiving Day can be a little hectic. I know like decorating on the same day is crazy. So, but respect Thanksgiving, or I will murder.
It should be after Santa crosses through Macy's end of Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
I agree. That's a great that's like that's the arrival of the Christmas season.
Yeah. So anything after that, fair game. Anything before that, you need to have express written consent from Will.
Yeah, that's excellent point, Drew. From now on, I'm gonna say that's the point of delineation. It's when Santa appears on the Macy's Day Parade. That's when it's okay to like fully embrace Christmas. Obviously you're not going to skip Thanksgiving dinner, but
No, but like if you start throwing up Christmas decorations right after that, it's okay.
Maybe that's part of your Thanksgiving like tradition, like that as an activity. I can respect that, but before that, you're a terrorist. I want to know your whereabouts on October 7th in Israel.
Fair, or January 6th in the United States. But speaking of terrorists, Pete Carroll, big loose change guy, probably a terrorist. And we are playing the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. So
true.
That's right. True. We are playing the Seattle Seahawks this weekend. Yes. So 2 teams with a winning record.
I put that on a fucking tee for you, Jake. Let's go.
I know. We spent 70 minutes prior to. So the question becomes: game scores, or do we want to preview the game? I'm just saying.
I mean, there's not a ton about the game to preview. For our offense sake, it's a lot of our own execution. And is Todd Monken going to adjust to what the Seahawks throw at him? If the Seahawks start dropping 8, are they going to take the runs? Are they going to take the checkdowns? If it's a 5-yard pass to Patrick Ricard every time, and that's the only thing that's open. Are they going to be disciplined enough to continue to take that? Or are they going to do dumb things like try to force the pass too much? When the run is open with Gus Edwards, are you going to let him run for 3 touchdowns again? Or are you going to inexplicably give Justice Hill carries in that situation? Defensively, Geno Smith is a solid NFL quarterback, but Will has called him a system quarterback, which is fair he's a rhythm and timing guy. And so really the point for Sunday has to be get Geno Smith out of rhythm. Make sure they can't run the ball efficiently. Make sure that, DK and Tyler Lockett are injured, are banged up a little bit. But,
DK practiced in full. Tyler Lockett did not practice today.
So right. So they're still, they're still not 100%, I guess is my point. And maybe DK is 100% by Sunday, but regardless, you have a little bit of, they're a little bit banged up coming into that game. And again, JSN's a rookie, and JSN doesn't do well when you beat the shit out of him because he's a soft Ohio State suck-eye. So,
suck-eye is crazy.
Yeah. Beat the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? Fuck with their rhythm, chip them coming off the line, get in Geno Smith's face. We have to just do your job. And I feel like this is not an easy win for the Ravens, but this is a very winnable game if the Ravens do what they're supposed to do. And I think
make sure Kenneth Walker doesn't run for 5 touchdowns against your defense again.
Right. If you shut up, Jake. Don't fucking listen.
I knew you'd probably catch it.
God damn it. Wolverine still won that game for the record. But like if this becomes a close game and the Ravens lose, or it's a 3-point win, it's because something went wrong for the Ravens, because they couldn't pass the ball efficiently. It's because they turned the ball over. It's because they did dumb shit on defense and blew coverages or tried to do too much. Like, this is the perfect kind of game that you should win, by 10, 15 points, and like you should control for the entirety of the game. So just go out there and do your job. This is a perfect, execute. That's all they got to do this week, and it's a win.
Yep, execute. I like that.
Yeah, it's a 60-minute effort is what we need.
60 minutes.
It's not the first 48. It's not the first 30. It's all 60 minutes.
We need a clean game from special teams too.
Yeah. Again, Harton, like you're on my radar. You're Steve Saunders, Greg Roman, and you're going to be my next agenda here that I'm going to be fucking calling for your job on the internet if some more dumb shit happens on special teams. Don't put Nelson Aguilar on your hands team. Make sure simple things like our returners know how much time is on the fucking clock when they're taking the ball back. Again, like, just avoid the simple mental mistakes, and I think we win this game fairly easily. Do we want to do jersey combos and scores and then get into some gambling picks?
Sure.
Jake?
Sounds good. I'm go. I'll go jersey combination first.
Do both.
I like purple on purple. I like purple on purple.
So you like the Advent colors?
That's right. I like the Advent colors this week. I don't know if it'll be color. I don't know if it'll be the gold numbers. Nah, I'm sticking with just purple on purple.
And what do you got for a score?
Shit, that's a good question. You know what? Last time I picked a blowout, it wanted to be in a close game. Let's see if the reverse happened. Let's go 27-24 Ravens.
All right. So I got purple on white. I don't know. Just that's my feelings. We're gonna go purple on white, and I got 31-20 for the final score. Trippy.
Damn, that's tough. I think I'm gonna go with purple and white too. Purple tops, white bottoms. I think the score gonna be like 38-17 Ravens with the Odell Beckham touchdown.
Oh, look at that. That's a little cherry on top of the pick there.
Will.
All right. I'm gonna go black tops. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta check the spreadsheet.
Yo, Will face be so funny. He want a Drew. If anything, I know Will want to make sure he get the jersey combo right every week. I know for sure.
He hasn't been right in a while. It's been
black jerseys, purple pants.
Black jerseys, purple pants. All right.
And I'm looking. I think it's going to be a semi-close game. I'm going to say 27-17.
All right. So I had an 11-point difference here, a 10-point difference. So we're same ballpark.
All right, hold on. Let's recap that real quick while I text or I message it to myself. Hold on. Let me bring up the.
I like your jersey combo. We only wore it 2 times.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I love the black purple. I think they're saving that for a later game. But they Drew, your purple
white. They saved it for week 18.
31-20.
Yep. Trippy had purple white. 38-17.
Trippy said purple white. Okay. Purple white. 31. Excuse me. 38-17. Yeah, 38-17. Jake, you were
purple.
All purple.
27-24.
Yep.
And then you were black purple 27-17.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening.
Right. And then Trippy kicked us off, gave us a little cherry on top on his pick. But for gambling picks, I like the Odell anytime touchdown score. Again, it's his birthday week. He's kind of been pressing a little bit. I feel like this is a good opportunity for him to score. I like Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, 1 p.m. mark. And again, he's just kind of been on a tear lately. I said it last week, and I was scoffed at for saying that he was owed a touchdown, and he ended up scoring 2. So, I think putting a Mark Andrews anytime touchdown parlay in is, or just anytime touchdown as a separate thing is a pretty fair bet at this point. I like Lamar 200+ yards. Again, last week didn't hit the 200+, but if you're just looking for a safe thing to add to your parlay, Lamar 200+ yards is a pretty safe
Lamar's averaging 230.8 going into last week. I'm not sure where his average is now. Probably went down a little bit, but he's averaging over 200 yards a game. So
Yeah, and odds wise, you get pretty decent. It's usually like minus 250 or something like that. But when you're adding that to a 6 or 7 leg parlay, it's a safe addition. It's something you're comfortable that they're going to hit.
Yeah,
I
if you
don't
did
know.
like six, 7, 8 legs of player props at minus 250 each, you'd end up at like plus 3,000. So
Yeah, so you're looking pretty solid there. As of right now, it's Ravens minus 5.5. I obviously like that. I would take that. I don't know what their team total is, but if their team total is 26 or under, 27 or under, actually, I would say take it. I would take the over on that. So if it's 27 or 26.5 or 27, I would take the over on that. Yeah, don't bet the first half team total because Justin Tucker misses 53-yard field goals and fucks you on that. So don't do that. I did that last week. I also was not in a legal gambling state, so I couldn't put any like live bets on the game. But I watched that happen and I missed the parlay. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, and I guess if you're looking for like a long shot touchdown score, besides Patrick Ricard anytime touchdown, again, keep putting that in. He'll hit eventually. I would say Zay is probably pretty good week for him to score. I could see
Drew is giving out a 17-leg parlay now.
No, I'm not putting that on a parlay. I'm saying if you're looking for like some long shots to add in.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I would say my core parlay here is the Odell anytime touchdown, Mark Andrews anytime touchdown, over on the team total, Ravens minus 5.5 and Lamar 200 plus passing yards. That would be my, I'm going to put that in.
That especially so that parlay, 2 anytime touchdown scores, that's going to be plus probably around 2,000, and then there's always boosts, either a 30 or a 50%. So like you're talking about
plus 3,000 ish.
Plus somewhere between plus 2,600 and plus 3,000. So I'll tell that for sure, 100%. Jake
Trippy, I kind of stole your Odell anytime touchdown. Do you have any other guys that you want to add into this?
You're on mute.
My bad, because I don't know what the hell going on outside. I keep hearing glass breaking, but
Stone Cold's out there giving stunners,
bro. I don't know what the fuck that was. That's why I was quiet as shit. Like, what the fuck going on? But anyway, I like a Gus Edwards touchdown, 50 plus yards. Zay 50 plus yards. Maybe a Zay anytime touchdown. Because he keeps saying he wants to score at home. I feel like it's this week. Oh yeah, Drew. You stole my pick. Odell is his birthday this week. Sunday. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, November 5th.
Yeah, I steal that.
I made a little lotto, like for the anytime touchdown. Give me a defensive touchdown. I feel like get the bank rocking this week.
We are due for one of them.
We haven't had one all year. So
Lamar 225 passing yards. Mark Andrews 50. Go ahead and put Odell on there for 25. I might, you know what I might do though? I might run that same ticket back this week. I feel like it depending on how the weather is. I might run that same ticket back.
That's pretty. I mean, it's that ticket is a good one pretty much every week. If you lose a couple times, you lose a couple times, but you win, you make up for it. Especially if you win multiple times. So
you'll hit that. 6 games out of 17, and that'll more than pay for the year. So
hell yeah, you'll be up way big.
Yeah.
So, okay, Jake, you got. I know again, Jake.
Communist can't gamble.
Yeah. Now you see me personally. I did not vote for these policies. It was the commies in the state that voted for these policies. But yeah, I like where you guys' heads at. Odell anytime score makes a lot of sense to me, especially with it being his birthday. I was gonna say if it wasn't this week, I would say next week against Cleveland because former team and all that revenge game. But I think if for the long shot, I'm gonna throw a long shot out there. Go Isaiah Likely. Why? Because
why the fuck not?
One, he hasn't been in the end zone yet. 2, there are gonna be one of these random weeks where a random tight end gets in the end zone that's not named Mark Andrews, and I'm banking on an NFC team being the recipient of that. Let's go, Mr. Likely.
Okay. During the podcast, just to speak to that point, Jake, about an NFC team, blah blah blah. All right, chill out, dude. My Great Dane is sitting here moaning in my ear, so I don't know what that means, but it makes me a little nervous. So anyway, the Ravens have like a DVOA of 39% on when 21 personnel is on the field, and the Seahawks have only had their defense on the field against 21 personnel on 9 plays all season. So it's not even a large enough data set to come up with a percentage for it. So the game plan should be attack them with 21.
Yeah, that's fair.
So anyway, and 21 means we're gonna have Ricard and a tight end on the field. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Pat anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, you follow that Ravens uniform tracker page on Twitter?
Yeah.
I just saw it. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Might have followed.
What do they say? Something?
No. This is my first time ever saying it.
Oh no. I interact
cool.
with them. Well, no, we're cool with them. And the Black Pants Advocate. Black Pants Advocate. Yeah.
There's some weirdo who's like white pants fan that we hate, but
TD Hunter. Yeah.
No, there's a white pants fan account too that I'm pretty sure we've blocked.
They're not stupid enough to fuck with me.
Yeah, they're terrorists, so they don't matter.
Yeah. All right. So my picks this week. I like a Lamar anytime touchdown.
Okay.
Lamar 200 plus passing. Mark Andrews 50 plus. Zay Flowers 50 plus. Do I want to add one more leg? And I would say bet the over on this game. I think it's going to be, the total's going to be set kind of low.
Yeah, I like the over.
So I would say the over on top of those player props.
Fair, very fair. Yeah, I don't like giving out like overs before it's, I don't look at those until like Friday or Saturday anyway. So
no, I agree with you on that. But that's why I said I don't know what the over is, but I feel like it's going to be set low. If it's not set low, and I would say low is anything under 42 points.
I was going to say anything in the 30s, I'd hammer it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right now the line at 44.5.
Okay.
Yeah, so if that works its way down to like 41.5, 42.5, I'd be all in on the over too.
Hold on, let me look at all our scores, because I think all our scores may reflect an over there. So hold on.
Yeah, mine was 51, yours was 44, Trippy's was.
Oh, so I'm saying bet the over, and I'm giving out a score that's it's going to be a half-point loser. So
yeah, Trippy was also 51, I believe.
Trippy was 55. I was
55. Yeah.
All right, hey, you guys take this over for like 3 minutes. This dog, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm nervous he's going to do something stupid here.
Fair. So we should
got dive red, man. Man's trying to go outside real quick.
We should just trash Will for 3 minutes till he comes back, and then say that we ended the podcast on like a positive note.
Yeah, so absolutely.
My man Will took that Thanksgiving serious. He had a whole 25-minute speech on that.
Will does this every year.
He's been on that tip for a few years.
It's a big Thanksgiving.
Several years.
Which is fair. I like Thanksgiving too. It's a great holiday. Better than Christmas, I don't know, but yeah, I'm a big Jesus guy too. So
exactly that, and also not the biggest turkey guy. I won't lie. Smoked turkey, deep fried turkey, that's different. Those are delightful. But overall, like a roasted turkey.
Yeah, but like
if I'm cooking, I'm not going to do that. No,
I don't know.
Fuck ham.
But that's what I'm saying.
If you're gonna go other holiday meat, it's other holiday meat specifically. You're going prime rib, or you do what I do and just get a tri-tip because I'm not spending an entire day cooking a fucking turkey. That's just
I don't even like turkey like that no more, bro. That shit.
Thanksgiving
deep fried
lobster on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Okay, man. Hey, if it works, it works. I wouldn't say no to it. But still, deep fried or smoked, those are the ways to have turkey. That shit smacks always.
Anybody listen to the podcast, make sure I get a Thanksgiving plate too if y'all listening.
Yeah. Just send Trippy your address and he'll stop by and pick up a plate from your house.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Stuffing. It's got to be stuffing.
No, I don't really like stuffing like that. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Man.
Give me macaroni and cheese. That probably sounds
man. We fucking park our cars in the same garage. Mac and cheese is the fucking way.
Like, but I'm not
I understand why you'd have to stuff and Drew.
My argument
like
there,
once, twice a year. You don't have stuff on a regular basis. You can have mac and cheese on a regular basis.
Yeah. That's my argument. It's not an anti mac and cheese argument. There's nothing wrong with good mac and cheese. It's just you can eat that at any time of the year, and it's good. You can have that on 4th of July if you really fucking wanted to, and it makes sense. But if
with barbecuing for sure.
But stuffing at a barbecue would be fucking weird. So I feel like you got to take advantage of the times of year that you can have stuffing.
Yep, precisely.
Not a huge cranberry sauce guy. I think that's overrated Thanksgiving. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah. Cranberry Jello is just not my thing.
No, that shit is not right. Let's see, what are the sizes there? Maybe mention that biscuits work.
Turnips, like mashed turnips, underrated. I like those.
Never had mashed turnips.
I mean, it's just turnips that you ground up, so they look cool.
That's fair. I've actually never had turnips either, but hey, it's neither here nor there. But
sometimes you got to mix in some vegetables. They're good for you.
Yeah, that's true. Shoot, I think it was a couple of years ago I did a cheesy mashed potato casserole for one Thanksgiving. Well, no, it wasn't Thanksgiving, it was Christmas. That shit hit.
Mashed potatoes and mac and cheese are kind of in the same boat for me for Thanksgiving. Of yes, like if they are there, I will happily take them, but you can eat them anytime.
True. But yeah. So there's that.
Do we do a song? Do we do a song vote without Will here?
I think we do it, and then when he gets here, we ask him for his song and put him on the spot.
All right, Jake.
Either way, I'm gonna be on the spot. Shit. Well, it's not Murder Inc. this week by Dr. Dre. I don't even know what I'm thinking. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go Beast by the Acacia Strain.
All right.
Actually, no. I've decided against that. I'm gonna go another route. I'm gonna go Destroy Everything by Hatebreed.
I have no fucking idea what that song is, so that makes perfect sense. Perfectly on brand for you there.
Something pissed off, something violent. There you go, bud.
All right, I'm back.
We're doing our song.
So we're doing outro song choices.
Okay.
Jake picked some random fucking song nobody knows.
Sound like Will was running. You good?
Bullshit. Those in the know. Destroy Everything by
Hatebreed.
Hatebreed.
Yeah,
I know Hatebreed.
Destroy Everything.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know any of their songs by name, but I know who Hatebreed is. That was back. Yeah. They came around the same time frame as Slipknot.
Yeah, and they're still putting out music. I haven't listened to them since 07, 08.
Yeah, nobody listening knows besides you two. Just FYI.
That's a fucking lie.
That's wrong. Some of the
you got a listener who's gonna suggest Amon Amarth, there's gonna be people who know fucking Hatebreed.
That's that Viking song or whatever, right? That's what you're talking about.
Oh, sick. Yeah. So Chips.
I don't fucking listen to Amon Amarth.
Yeah, so Chips.
He might. Actually, he probably does. He used to listen to that kind of music at one point.
Probably still does.
Then he became a redneck.
I'm gonna go really basic pick here, but I'm gonna go Enter Sandman and Metallica. This is fully an anti-Spencer Schultz pick for hating that song being played in the beginning of the fourth quarter. So
I love that song.
Wherever I May Roam is a better song.
Everybody.
What's the name of that again? Text it to me real quick.
Enter Sandman.
Yeah, send it in the chat so I can add it to my playlist.
Wherever I May Roam is a better song from the same album. Wherever I May Roam is a fucking banger. Fuck you, Drew.
Jake, what was the name of the song?
Destroy Everything.
Enter Sandman's gonna win anyway. I've already picked a winner.
Yeah, I'm gonna slanderize as much as possible.
I'm gonna be the first 3-time champ of our voting here.
Fine, I'm a
did you pick when I was gone?
No, I didn't pick yet.
You did not.
Man, I got this Ravens playlist that I just looked up the other day on iTunes. I'm a give me Tupac Ambitious as a Rider.
All right.
There we go.
Something a little. I know the song ain't basic, but something cool and a little simple.
Little throwback.
I think I'm gonna wait on him until around Christmas.
Well,
yeah, I got a Tupac pick for a later game, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
And my pick, because Drew and Lamar Translator try to tell me that Blink-182 isn't cool. Blink-182
It's not.
Blink-182 has the #1 album in the country. It's their third #1 album.
Well,
so
right now,
NBA Youngboy's had multiple #1 albums, and you say nobody knows who he is. So #1 albums don't matter. Just you got to stay consistent here.
You claim that NBA Youngboy is good and that people do know who he is, and now you're saying that Blink-182 being the current #1 album
I'm saying
in
for
the country.
for your argument's sake, you cannot make the argument that a #1 album means.
I bet John Harbaugh.
I didn't say that everyone knows who Blink-182 is. I'm just saying you said they're not cool.
I said they're not cool. I said I can't wait to film myself leaving Fenway Park as they come on stage next year.
Well, I actually might come to Fenway for that concert, so you won't be leaving. You're going to be staying and hanging out with me.
Maybe. We'll see. That takes a lot out of me.
So my pick is from their new album, Blink-182, Anthem #3.
Oh wow, that's a real creative song title. Is it better than Anthem number 2?
It is actually. I like it better than Anthem number 1 and Anthem number 2.
Oh, so that's like a running thing that they do.
Yes,
I see. Because they're for old people, so they've been around for a while. They put out 3 anthems. So good to know.
Well, at least old people can make an album number 1, unlike NBA YoungBoy, he has to rely on 13-year-olds.
Do they hate America and they disrespect the national anthem by calling their songs anthems?
The word anthem, it's not national anthem.
People
it means nothing.
Just saying.
Nah, this is just a weak slanderized attack from Drew because he doesn't listen to pop punk. Yeah. That's all. He doesn't want to do high fives and stage dives. He doesn't want to meet with all his friends and eat pizza and shit.
Hey, like Jake, you be stage diving, Jake?
Fuck no, I don't fuck with pop punk like that. Actually, pop punk's all right. I lied.
Jake's more of a mosh pit. Jake's more of a mosh pit.
When we win the Super Bowl, I swear to God,
Jake's more of a find a good spot to watch someone get punched in the face in. Dude,
yeah. Back in the day, I'm sure wild. Jake and I both would have been, mixing it up. But nowadays, it's find a perch.
Go for that shit.
Yeah.
Find a spot that people watch and watch people beat the hell out of each other, and then all of a sudden a fight breaks out and bullshit like that. Someone got love tapped too hard.
Look, right, if the Ravens host the AFC Championship game, right, I just thought of an idea, right? And if we win, I'm going to just jump in the crowd, right? And I just want everybody just wave me around the whole stadium, like.
The whole thing?
Yes, the whole stadium, like, yo.
Just pass
like a beach ball?
Fuck,
I'm going to have my sign up, like, we going to the Super Bowl.
All right, we're going to see this one.
Anywho, that seems to be about that time. So that's going to do it for this week's installment. We'll be back to discuss this, that, and the other. Maybe Grant will be back. We'll be talking about an AFC North game next week.
Grant.
But meanwhile, that's right, Grant. Get the fuck back. You may not have a soul because you're a ginger, but still, we want you back. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
Pretty good.
I don't know what that end was, but I like it.
Zone 32.